James Gunn's Superman crushes the box office with $217 million, proving that superhero fatigue is a myth when storytelling shines. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. For years now, fans and critics have blamed superhero fatigue for the downfall of comic book movies. Over the years, every time a Marvel or DC film underperformed, fans have been quick to blame the superheroes for it, thus coining the term superhero fatigue. But James Gunn never bought into that. With Superman soaring past a jaw-dropping $217 million global box office debut in just 4 days, it's clear that capes aren't cancelled. They were just boring, and Gunn knew it all along. While critics and fans cried superhero fatigue, Gunn clarified in a GQ interview, saying the problem wasn't too many heroes, it was too many mediocre movies. I don't believe in superhero fatigue. I think there's, mediocre movie fatigue. I think you can tell stories about anything. If you see the same gangster movie over and over, you're gonna get so bored. But if you see different types of criminals doing different things that are involved in different activities, different levels of morality, different styles, it's not ever gonna get boring. And boy, did Superman prove him right. As the first film in DC Studios' newly revamped Gods and Monsters era, Superman didn't just fly. It blasted through every typical trope and stale formula that was being crammed down our throats by Marvel and DC. And as a result, audiences showed up and enjoyed the film, boosting its box office. This concept of superhero fatigue, in one way, is real because there have been a lot of superhero movies that maybe haven't been up to what they should have been or what the audience wanted. You see the same thing happening across the board with movies in general. That people are not making the movies that need to bring people into the cinemas. And what's the solution for this? Well, James Gunn mentioned that the antidote to declining interest in cinema lies in directors' ability to take risks. When studios pump out copy-paste content with no heart, people naturally stop caring. But give them a well-written, well-acted, emotionally rich film, and suddenly, everyone's back in theaters. It hasn't been happening because people are so afraid of making a mistake. I think we should make a lot more mistakes. And that's exactly what Gunn's recently released movie, Superman, delivered. It wasn't just a punch fest or another origin story with CGI overload. James Gunn gave us a version of Clark Kent that felt human, relatable, and emotionally layered. He built a story that wasn't just about saving the world, it was about identity, hope, and purpose. The co-CEO of DC said it was never about the genre, it was about the quality. In his interview, Gunn confidently explained that audiences don't get bored of superheroes, they get bored of watching the same old story told in the same boring way. He explained how, just like gangster movies or romantic comedies, superhero films need variety. Meanwhile, according to Variety, while Superman's pre-weekend projection predicted the film to earn $120 million domestically, the movie soared past its limits, raking in $122 million during its opening weekend. Additionally, as per THR reports, David Corenswet's movie topped Friday's domestic box office chart with $56 million, becoming the third-best start of 2025. Gunn celebrated the success of Superman on Threads. Within just 4 days of release, Superman brought in a staggering $217 million worldwide against its $225 million budget, and it's still climbing via the numbers. This isn't just a big win for DC Studios, it's a bold message to Hollywood, urging every director to make good superhero movies in order to attract audiences to the theaters. Now, James Gunn's success proves that the superhero genre isn't dead, it just needed to evolve. Because clearly, when superhero stories are told right, they still have the power to soar. Let us know in the comments what your opinions were about the new Superman movie. I'm incredibly grateful for your enthusiasm and kind words over the past few days. We've had a lot of super in Superman over the years, and I'm happy to have made a movie that focuses on the man part of the equation, a kind person always looking out for those in need. So it seems that James Gunn was right about the superhero fatigue. He not only understood what audiences want, but also delivered it with utmost brilliance. Superman gave audiences something deeper, emotional, and worth paying for. And that's what audiences have been craving for, not more multiverse madness or recycled CGI villains. James Gunn has ambitious plans for DCU, and it all boils down to whether he can pull off the multiversal concept with Peacemaker Season 2. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. With Superman's success, DC Studios chief James Gunn established a strong foundation for his upcoming DCU framework. The heroic tone and all-around wholesome, feel-good quality of the film made the fans feel hopeful about a new and better regime at DC that can finally follow a unified vision and avoid the constraints of its controversial past. However, his multiversal plans, which will kick off with Peacemaker Season 2, can jeopardize the future of DCU and negate all the goodwill that Gunn has earned with his audience after Superman. As revealed by the new Peacemaker Season 2 trailer, an alternate version of the gun-toting, peace-loving baddie, played by John Cena, is shown to start over anew in a parallel dimension. James Gunn has newly established the concept of a multiverse in Peacemaker Season 2. Although he had earlier hinted at the John Cena series connecting to the larger DC universe at hand, fans had never realized how far Gunn was willing to go with his plans until DC released the Peacemaker Season 2 trailer. Now, fans are in an uproar over the presence of parallel dimensions and at least 100 universes in the DCU via X. A decision that comes as a surprise to some but angers the rest. Marvel has already proven how multiversal arcs can get easily convoluted, messy, and distract from the main topic at hand. With MCU's multiverse saga trying and failing to impress fans while also infecting the population with superhero fatigue, James Gunn's decision to introduce the same concept in his infant timeline is causing quite a stir within the DCU fandom. The burden of proof now lies entirely with James Gunn, as the director has to provide satisfactory evidence that his concept of the multiverse will not only succeed but also drive the DCU in a better direction than its MCU counterpart. While the idea of a fresh start in a new universe may help clean the slate for the formerly DCU anti-hero, thus avoiding any future Snyderverse-related controversy, while also staying true to Peacemaker's eccentric tone and wild personality, it may not necessarily be the right direction for DCU, and here's why. Marvel's multiversal saga has already drained the world of its fascination with superheroes and infected the industry with superhero fatigue. As such, James Gunn following the same formula this early in the game seems like a bad idea, especially considering how MCU Phases 4 and 5 have done a poor job in hyping up the multiverse, Doctor Strange 2 and Quantumania. Now, signs of frustration and fraying nerves are already apparent among the DC fans as the mere mention of the multiverse in Peacemaker Season 2 has sparked widespread outrage and annoyance. Instead, the multiverse can keep DCU fresh and interesting by showcasing different arcs and distinct versions of the same characters placed in separate realities. While the parallel dimension Peacemaker idea may have originally stemmed from removing the anti-hero from DCU and transferring him to Gunn's new universe with minimal fallout, it can all work out for the better. Fortunately, in a recent interview with Screen Rant, Gunn seemingly hinted that Peacemaker Season 2 will connect to the DC universe at large and build toward a climactic big event, which can help redeem the filmmaker's sudden decision to involve the concept of multiple universes